Welcome back, everybody, to more of the Eden of Grisaia. In the last episode, Yumiko tracked down an informant who happened to be Yuji's old buddy, Robert Wilson. He's working at a soba noodle shop or whatever. And basically, yeah, some big stuff is going down. There's some big important program that it's looking like that's what Oslo's really after. Some kind of super soldier clone program or something that's going on. I'm not quite sure of the details, but let's just continue on with the story. With a harsh, unpleasant buzz from a speaker embedded in the ceiling, the cell's featureless door unlocked itself. Yuji had been sitting cross-legged on his bolted-down bed, leaning his head against the padded wall as he aimlessly exercised his ocular muscles. But in the moment the door opened, a voice spoke to him, and he opened his eyes. Adam. This guy's a name, and a portrait. We're gonna see him again. The visitor who broke Yuji's idle, peaceful isolation was a man who previously introduced himself as Adam. As the two of them stared at each other expressionlessly, Yuji slowly uncrossed his legs and slipped his feet into the pile of slippers that he left lying on the room's oddly soft floor. What happened to Major Harudera?
言っただろう。貴様の担当官は私だ。それに、サンサは貴様にはもう愛想が尽きたとのことだ。
I see. He wasn't dejected by the fact that JB hadn't come. A hearing might sound promising, but basically it meant an informal court-martial, which would communicate decisions that had already been made. He'd been given a number of questions that he could only answer yes to. Any statements or pleas on his part would prove to be meaningless. Whatever the final judgment might be, Yuji wasn't eager for JB to learn of it. To put the matter simply, he was feeling the same relief as a punk kid who'd managed to avoid having his mom come pick him up from police custody after some meaningless fight. Without any sign of anxiety or anger, Yuji obediently held out his arms for the handcuffs Adam had produced. There was no way to know exactly what Adam thought of this indifferent behavior. But after a few moments, he spoke again.
現状に何か不足はないか？担当官として足りないものがあれば上に申請する。
I could really use a cigarette right about now. Could you take off the handcuffs?
それはできない。
That was worth a shot. Will you scratch my ass for me then? We got an itch down there that's driving me mad.
くだらん冗談が飛ばせるのも今のうちだ。
He's not very friendly. This was hardly the first time Yuji had faced a hearing or received disciplinary measures of some kind. Normally, such meetings were held in the small conference room on the second floor. The two of them boarded an elevator, and Adam retrieved an identification card from his suit. Slipping it into a slot next to the control panel, he proceeded to speak the name Adam Black into a concealed microphone. Having verified his occupant's identity, the elevator began to move, in a manner contrary to Yuji's expectations. Wait, we're going down?
黙ってついてくればいい。
They proceeded down a number of similar corridors, many protected by fingerprint and retina-based identification systems, and rode numerous elevators that took them both up and down. After about 20 minutes of patiently allowing himself to be dragged around by Adam, Yuji couldn't repress the urge to click his tongue irritably. I don't know how far you plan on taking me, but you're certainly being cautious about it.
今回貴様を審問する審問官がそれだけ特殊だということだ。
Oh, is it the professor guy? We've heard about him. He's been kind of rumored several times throughout the series. Oh, I wonder. Who's it gonna be?
地下の彼女。もしくは
Oh,
教授と呼ばれる人物に心当たりはあるか？
My bad, I thought it was a man. Did they ever say it was a woman? I don't think they ever did. Well, I've heard rumors about them, sure, but those are just rumors, right?
今回の審問官はその彼女だ。
Who the hell is it? That a fact. Answering half-heartedly, Yuji turned briefly to glance back at the hallway he just walked down.
角を曲がるたびにいちいち背後を振り返るな。帰り道を覚える必要はない。
Why don't you blindfold me or something then?
私にお前の手を引いて歩けというのか?
Well, true enough. When will you fall in love with me?
本当に口の減らん男だな。お前には目隠しよりも猿ぐつわが必要だな。
How long are you planning to keep me walking around like this anyway?
そうだな。風見よ、お前、今まで自分がいた部屋の方向はわかるか?
Let me guess. South. It's in front of us. We're currently walking toward the place I was confined in.
なぜそう思う?
Something felt a little odd about the last elevator ride. Unless I'm imagining things, I'm pretty sure the car made a half rotation as it was moving through the shaft. Oh my god, it's Danganronpa 2 all over again.
狙撃兵ってやつはコンパスがなくても地磁気が読めるのか。渡り鳥のようなやつだな。散歩はあと30分追加だ。
Oh my god, are you serious? Are you serious? Precisely 30 minutes later, and not a second too later, having been led around like a dog on a walk, Kazami Yuji finally found himself standing before an imposingly thick, bomb-resistant metal door. Boy, whatever's in there, they certainly want to protect. One final time, Adam offered up his keycard, palm, and retina for inspection. With a heavy rumbling sound, the overlapping metal bolts that barred the door withdrew, and its lock was disengaged. Whoa, this is some room. Stumbling into the room at a shove from his commanding officer, Yuji found it unpleasantly cold. There was no hint of the current season in the air. The walls were concrete, painted white and devoid of windows. The room had no furnishings whatsoever. The only objects in the room that really stood out were the enormous monitor embedded in the far wall, and the surveillance cameras positioned in all four corners of the ceiling. Now no one's around. I hope she didn't head home after all that time we kept her waiting.
いいから座れ。
With that, Adam walked up behind Yuji and opened a cheap-looking folding chair that he'd apparently produced out of thin air. Only one chair had been prepared. In other words, rather than meeting his interrogator directly, Yuji would presumably be speaking with them through the monitor in front of him. Not that I'm really surprised, but after making him walk in circles for nearly an hour, they weren't even going to meet him face to face. Just how paranoid was this person? Snorting quietly to himself, he dropped the chair heavily enough to make a groan. In response, the monitor on the wall turned on, and the lights on the ceiling grew dim. Ooh, the previews are starting, everybody.
また後で迎えに来る。
Adam turned on his heel and left the room. A moment later, the heavy door closed itself, and a series of gears shifted the metal bolts back into place. I would not be surprised if this is why I was summarily executed. God, it's so bright. Sun. The air pressure in the room abruptly changed. Yuji was forced to swallow in order to clear his ears. What exactly is going on here? As his eyes adjusted to the bright white image on the monitor before him, he found himself looking at a number of shutters resembling those of a camera lens. Altogether, there were 10 of them, drilled into what looked like a concrete foundation. What the hell was this? The shutters opened, and 10 drum-shaped pillars emerged from the floor, rotating as they rose. He had no real standard of reference, so it was difficult to tell their exact size, but at a glance, each one of the pillars seemed to be at least 2 meters in height. In a moment that the rise completed, a low metallic thunk reverberated through the room, and Yuji felt the floor vibrate beneath his feet. The room he was looking at might be closer by than he thought.
お名前をどうぞ。
There were presumably speakers hidden somewhere. A woman's voice filled the air, almost as if the room itself was speaking. Who do you think it is? A woman? I'm assuming it's going to be a main character, right? In the same moment, the 4 cameras in the corner of the room turned their lenses toward Yuji and focused on him. Ichigaya Special Duty Agent 9029. Kazami, I'm sorry, I'm a little flustered today.
確認しました。
There's a genius locked up in the basement of Ichigaya who controls Japan's national defense. Yuji had heard rumors of the sort before. His company had more than its share of secrets, sure. so there was always plenty of unfounded stories, and it was not rare for unremarkable truths to be embellished dramatically. Still, I can't say I was expecting the professor in the basement to be a machine.
久しぶりね、ユージ。
I'm sorry. I'm aware you've helped me out a few close scrapes. But that's an odd way to greet someone you're meeting for the first time.
私の声、忘れちゃった？
Oh no. Oh no. What are you talking about?
まあいいわ。
As the professor let out a resigned little sigh, thin laser-like beams of light appeared from the four corners of the ceiling. Yep, this is how I die. I always kind of figured it was going to be like this. At the point where they intersected and interfered with each other, a three-dimensional image containing phase information took shape. Hologram.
あれ、
ああ
違うな。こっちかしら。これでどう？
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, she's the professor. I had a feeling, but it's really her. I mean, it's a hologram, so she's not like... Oh, well, yeah. Wait, what? Kazuki?
そう、風見和樹。あなたのお姉ちゃんよ。
Stop it. This is one ugly joke. Kazuki, my sister died years ago.
そうね。書類上は死んだことになっているわね。じゃあ、私は誰？
It's a lie. Why are you showing me this nonsense? What are you thinking?
相変わらず疑り深い子ね。周りを疑う前に、まずは自分を疑いなさいとあれほど教えたでしょ？まあ、あなたが信じてくれないのも理解できるわ。簡単に結論から言ってしまえば、私はあのバス事故の後、あの山の中で生き残ったのよ。詳細な経緯を説明するのは別の機会として、今許された時間で簡単に説明してしまうと。
Why now? Why is she showing to us now, not before?
まあ、食べ物をめぐる壮絶な殺し合いの末に次々と人が死んで、結局私も重度の傷を負ったわ。さすがに私ももうダメかしらと思いかけた頃に、天音のおかげで救助が来たのだけれど、私の体はもう手の施しようがなかったのね。で、これは私も知らなかったのだけれど、私たちのお父様は私の脳みそに保険をかけていたのね。
Can you do that?
その保証金額というのが軽く億単位だったということもあって、体を失っても脳だけは存続できないかという計画が立ち上がったわけ。そしてその計画に目をつけたのが、日本における超法規的諜報通信網導入計画の発案者で、私の脳はそのまま事故として偽装され、私の頭部を利用したコンピュータの開発に成功。その結果がこうして今現在の私につながるというわけ。
Yeah, I
理解で
followed
き
all
た？
that. This game has gotten so weird. Wait, hold on a second. When did we leave the waking world behind? Did you mix something into my food? Take me back to reality, please. I'd rather dream I was a butterfly.
まあ、こんな説明で納得しろという方が無理よね。でも、生の脳みそを見せてあげるわけにもいかないし、見たところで脳の表面に名前が書いてあるわけでもないし、困ったわね。
If you're really Kazuki, try to guess what I'm thinking of right now.
それは有機物？それとも無機物？
Living. No, wait, inanimate.
それは手に持つことができるもの？
Yes.
プラスチックでできている？
Yes.
話しかけると返事をする？
Nope.
それは電気で動くもの？
Yes.
それで時間がわかる？
No.
それは口に入れるもの？
Yes,
電動歯ブラシ？
that's right.
懐かしいわね、この遊び。あなたがもっとずっと幼かった頃、よく二人で遊んだわ。
It's always an electric toothbrush. Yeah, I remember. I really wanted to beat you, so I challenged you over and over again. Do you remember what I was thinking of the first time I got you to give up?
はあ、ガスの元栓ね。あれはあなたが私の質問で、それは火をつけるものと聞いたときに、いいえと答えたからわからなかったのよ。
The gas itself is what starts the fire, the valve does not. We talked about this.
それはへりくつだわ。
No, I don't think so. I got it. I was right. I stumped you. You said the same thing at the time. The games that the Kazami siblings had played as young children weren't recorded in any database. Especially given the detailed nature of her memories, it was difficult to suspect that some third party had just created them. Is that really you, Nichin?
疑り深い子ね。だったら何でも質問してみればいいじゃない。
What's your favorite food?
ユージ。
It really is you. When they were quite young, for some reason he could no longer remember, Yuji had asked his sister Kazuki what her favorite food was. Without a moment's hesitation, Kazuki had emphatically declared Yuji, and then proceeded to nibble on his cheeks. At the time, he quivered with genuine fear at the thought that his sister really might eat him. Just remembering this made him want to curl up into a ball of embarrassment. By now, it was growing increasingly difficult for Yuji to doubt the reality in front of him. He couldn't help to admit that his truth had to really be Kazami Yuji. Kazami Yuji? Kazami Kazuki! God damn it. It's Kazuki. My head's starting to hurt. I can't talk right.
あら大変。でも大丈夫よ。人類は100年以上も前に頭痛薬の発明に成功しているもの。後であなたの部屋に届けさせるから、医学の進歩に感謝しながら、用法用量を守って正しく服用しなさい。
I can take some aspirin, okay? I don't need a lecture. Very thoughtful of you. How had this happened? What was even going on here? Like, really? Okay, so Kazuki is more or less dead. Her brain's being preserved, and it's apparently powering some supercomputer for Japan's national defense and security? Like, what the fuck? The questions swirled through Yuji's mind, but nothing resembling a comprehensible answer came into view. There was one point in particular that made it impossible for him to simply accept the situation he found himself in. If you were alive, and this close by, why did you wait for so long?
ごめんなさい。でも、分かって、ユージ。私だって、こんな姿をあなたには見られたくなかったのよ。
What, so the alternative is I never find out? And I'm sitting here waiting the rest of my whole life? Wondering what happened to my sister? May or may not have died? I don't like that one.
私だって、もっと早くあなたに会いたかった。私に体があれば、私に力があれば、ヒースオスロの魔の手から、もっと早くあなたを救い出せた。
That's a lot of could'ves. You didn't save me.
いいえ、それ以前にあなたを渡したりはしなかったわ。ごめんなさい、ユージ。遅くなって。本当にごめんなさい。いつもあなたのことに気づいてあげられなくて。ごめんなさい。
Stop it, Nichin. Simply complaining about the past wouldn't change the present one bit. But if you look toward the future, those complaints can become lessons that help you avoid repeating the same old mistakes. Where do you go from here? What happens next? Under your current circumstances, what's the best course of action? Hold on just a second, would you? It's starting to get seriously mixed up here.
受け入れなさい。ありのままの現実を。そしてこの私を。
That's going to take some time. Not that I'm bragging, but I've been through a hell of a lot by now. I figured there wasn't much that could rattle me too badly at this point. Boy, was I wrong. But my long-dead sister was literally turned into a piece of national defense equipment? No, this is too insane. Even for me.
そうは言っても時間がないのよ。
What do you mean?
これからあなたが何をし、私があなたに何を期待するか。それを説明するためにあなたをここに呼んだのよ。それを聞く覚悟はある？
Say anything you like. I doubt anything could really surprise me at this point.
ねえ、ユージ。あなた、この国のために犠牲になってくれない？
Alright.
即答ね。というか、怒らないのね。
Well, JB did give me a general overview of the situation. I figured it'd be something along these lines. If I was speaking to anyone else, I'd probably be working myself up into a righteous rage at this point. But when it's coming from you, Kazuki, that's different. I won't question any order you gave me, much less disobey. What exactly should I do? What exactly can I do? Those are my only questions.
そう。いい子ね、ユージ。
Please don't belittle me. I'm trying to save the country here, okay?
では、時間も限られていることだし、簡単な状況説明から始めましょう。ヒース・オスロが大量殺戮兵器を国内に持ち込んだという話は聞いているわね。
Yes. Not clear exactly what kind of weapons, though. Probably chemical.
確証がないから断言はできないけれど、おそらくは核異星体爆弾と呼ばれるものである可能性が高いわね。
No, that's not good.
まあ、あえてどこの国かは明言をしないけれど、ヒース・オスロの所有する兵器開発企業に、これまでに1000万ドル以上の研究費を投じた国があるの。
Wow, that's a lot of money. More like a major pain in the ass.
あなたも随分とお世話になった国よ。あまり悪く言うものではないわ。彼も喧嘩に勝ち続けるのに必死なのよ。
Anyway, how much of this nasty stuff did Oslo smuggle into Japan?
3000ミリグラム。
That sounds like a lot. Just 3 grams?
言ったでしょ？強力なのよ。そのたった3グラムの爆発規模は半径50キロにも及ぶわ。
So the next generation matchbox bomb everyone always dreamed of has finally been made reality.
マッチ箱は少し大げさね。クリスマスケーキの箱ぐらいの大きさは必要よ。それに、まだ実験の域を出ていない技術だから、どこまで実用化できているかも多少の疑問があるわね。
He's trying to intimidate the government with a weapon that isn't even finished yet.
噂の威力も兵器の性能ということよ。そんな兵器が完成しているわけがないと無視できるほど無知な国ばかりではないでしょうし、ましてや研究費の大半を負担していた国ともなればなおのことよ。
Let me get to the point. Why did Oslo smuggle this stuff into the country despite all the risks? What's his primary objective? What's his endgame here?
あなたは今、そのオスロの一番の目的の上に椅子を置いて座っているわ。
What?
男の目的なんていつも同じ。体目当て。あの男は私が欲しくて仕方がないのよ。
Are you saying?
そう。彼の一番の目的は私。通信傍受型諜報活動網の根幹。タナトスシステムであるということよ。
Is this Thanatos system worth that much to him?
タナトスシステムというのは、独立した分散管理型ネットワークシステムで、制限のない情報監視網に加え、陸自や海自のシステムの管理運用も可能なのよ。
It sounds like something we shouldn't have made into just one system. Seems like multiple systems should be controlling those things and not just one system that could be taken over.
世界中の通信傍受はもちろんのこと、あらゆるシステムに侵入が可能。
It's too much power for one man, let alone one computer.
もっと端的に一番わかりやすい例えをすれば、この世のすべての暗号が意味のないものになるといえば理解できる？
I always thought you were a bit of on the superhuman side, Nichan, but it seems you've turned into a genuine monster since the last time I saw you.
このことは秘密だから、クラスのお友達に自慢したりしちゃダメよ。
What school? I don't go to school. Don't want people thinking you're a know-it-all, huh?
何でもできる女だと思われるともっと面倒。実際、噂を聞きつけた王子様が爆弾を片手に力ずくで私を手に入れようとしているの。どうしよう、ユージ。このままじゃお姉ちゃん、テロリストに手ごめにされちゃうわ。
Well, that's certainly outrageous. I'd love to do something about it, but it seems a bit too much for me to handle on my own. Why don't you have the government help you out?
それができれば、あなたを呼んだりなんかしないわ。
So you're telling me one person can just do all this where the government couldn't? That seems very, very unlikely.
某英国にしてみれば、私という存在で日本に不必要な情報力を持たれても困るけれど、開発援助という形で日本の情報が現状より細密に得られる。日本にしてみれば、英国の情報技術能力、つまりはエシュロンとリンクすることで得られる情報は欲しいけれど、国内の情報をスキャニングされる不安と国防を英国に握られることに不満はある。私がテロリストに奪われるリスクは大きいけれど、英国にしてみれば、所詮は他人の財布。すられたところで被害は最小で済むし、日本の詩吟と導入計画は時期尚早とする反対派の口を封じることもできる。一方で、日本にしてみても費用的な損失はあるものの、自宅のハードディスクの中身を他人に見られるような不快感から解放されるというメリットがあるという考え方もできる。要は、どちらの国にしても、奪われても構わないが、奪われたことによる利点が必要ということになるわけね。
They don't mind if the system's stolen. Well, why'd they even create it in the first place then? That doesn't make any sense. Also, if Oslo steals a computer like that and misuses it, financial losses in the international pecking order are going to be the least of anyone's problems.
そこで今話し合われているのが、システムの 20% をオスロに提供するという妥協案ね。
I mean, if Japan suffers a financial problem, that's not a big deal, right? Just release some more seasons of Sword Art Online. There you go.
要求としては、オスロがタナトスシステムと同時に欲している風見有事を供出する代わりに、20% のシステム供与で同意させる。でも 20% とはいえ、できれば許したくはないというのが本音よ。
0% would be ideal, right? Well, sure, it's like getting pushed down and then offering the guy oral if he lets you off the hook.
あなた、しばらく会わないうちに随分と下品になったわね。
I've had bad influences. You don't want to know my life. You're the one who made the analogy, okay?
まあいいわ。つまりはそういうことよ。いろいろな損得感情のある中で、できうる限りの防御線を張っておきましょうというのがあなたを呼んだ理由。
Do I get a gun?
そこであなたにやってもらいたいのが、私をおとりとしたテロリスト壊滅作戦というわけね。オスロが 20% の条件を飲もうと飲まざると、あなたをオスロの元に送り込んで、オスロを暗殺させようという計画なのだけれど。
Oh, come on, if you're just giving them 20%, you know, they're gonna be like, they're just gonna want more, they're gonna want all of it.
どうかしら。
Another assassination job, huh? You do realize I just failed to kill him the other day, right? You really think I can do it again?
あなたにしても、諸悪の根源たるオスロとの決着は、悪夢からの決別という意味でも必須だろうし。
You're right. You're right. I need to settle the score, you know.
オスロが未だにあなたをコントロールできると思っていても、今のあなたはもう昔のあなたではないわ。 あなたはこれまでに多くの経験を積み、多くの困難を乗り越えてきた。ましてや、今のあなたには私がついているのよ。十分に勝ち目はあると戦術師さんが出ているから、安心しなさい。
Well, I can't say I'm feeling all that optimistic myself.
あなたにしかできない仕事だし、あなたにしか頼めない仕事なの。
Alright. I'm on board.
そう。ありがとう、ユージ。あなた、昔に比べると本当に変わったわね。
You know, my master used to say, the value of a man changes based on what he experiences, what he sees, what he thinks, and the men he meets. I wasn't going to be the boy you knew forever, Nichan. Crying and complaining won't change a thing. To change the world, you have to start out by changing yourself. Yuji knew this, and he knew that, for all his talk, he hadn't really changed on a fundamental level. Over the years, he'd slowly learned to do things he couldn't before, but he was still blundering awkwardly through life, and he was still a coward at heart. What he needed now was the courage to take a step forward. I'll do what I can, for as long as I can. Oh my god. But just as he reached his decision, the sound of a buzzer filled the air. The door began to unlock itself, and Adam's voice flowed through the speakers in the ceiling.
9029、時間だ。独房へ戻れ。
Oh, I guess I need to be going.
残念ね。でも、またきっと会えるわ。
Bye, Nichan. Boy, that was weird. Well, I think that'll be enough for today's episode. What a storyline, right? So, we're going to be using our sister's super-powered brain, who powers a supercomputer for Japan, as kind of a bait to lure Oslo, and then we kill him. It's just that easy. But you know it's not going to be that easy, right? Nothing ever is in this game, or this world. Assassinating a man who essentially controlled us for a great part of our life? That's not going to be easy. So, yeah. So, if you liked the video, guys, like the video and subscribe if you want to see more Eden of Grisaia. And have a good day. See you all on Friday.